Hey guys, today we're performing our expert overview on Traeger's Ironwood series pellet grills. Now currently there are two different grills in the series. There's the 650 and the 885. The grills are basically built out the same and they look the same. They just have that many square inches of cooking space per grill. Today we'll be concentrating on the 885, which is 885 square inches of cooking space. Let's get to it. Now we'll check out the features of Traeger's Ironwood, beginning with their D2 direct drivetrain system, which is pretty slick. It includes a variable speed fan, as well as an industry first brushless motor. Now those two things might not sound like a whole lot to everybody, but it allows for a lot of the features that we're about to cover, and we'll start out with a pretty cool situation here. They have a turbo temp fast startup. Now because of the variable fan, what they're able to do is you're able to preheat in about half the time as traditionally would have taken to get to the cooking temperature you're headed to with a pellet grill. I clocked it in the lower temperatures. It gets you to the lower temperatures you set in about 8 to 9 minutes and 12 to 15 minutes at higher temperatures. Pretty slick. Another thing that this system affords Traeger's Ironwood grills is that it has a throttling down feature when the grill senses that the lid has been up. Now that might just sound like a bunch of talk, but traditionally speaking, you open the lid of your pellet grill, the thermometer reads that there's a drop in temperature. The thermometer is hooked up to the brain of the pellet grill and says we need more temperature. Well, that's simple, just feed in more pellets. Now I close the lid and I've overshot my temperature by sometimes a couple hundred degrees, and that's just not really acceptable. So you don't really have to worry about that with this grill because, like I said, it will throttle down and note that, hey, the lid's up. We don't need to drop 50 more pounds of pellets in there. We need to just we'll close the lid and we'll get back to it. Now this system also allows for a super smoke mode, which is pretty cool when smoking, obviously. So it works up until 250 degrees. You're able to press the super smoke mode, which injects extra smoke when you're smoking. And one of the final great features included with the D2 system is something I'm pretty impressed with. It's been around in the commercial industry for a long time. I used to love it, but it isn't very available even now residentially, and it is a keep warm mode. Now traditionally all that generally meant commercially is that when your food hits the temperature that you've programmed in and you're aiming for, then the item, oven, grill, whatever it might be, will drop down to 165 and keep your food there for usually up to 4 hours until you're ready for it. So that's awesome. Well, you have that going on here, but the other thing that you can do this with this system for the pellet grill is, let's say you're in the middle of a cookout and you get a call and there's some emergency and you need to run for 30 minutes. No problem, you can hit the keep warm mode. It will drop down to 165 and keep your cook where it is until you get back, turn it off and go back to the temp you want, make it happen. That's pretty awesome. Another cool feature with the Ironwood grills is their in-hopper pellet sensor. Now, a couple other pellet grills have pellet sensors, but the cool thing about the one with the Ironwood is that, yes, they alert you that you're out of pellets, but to me that's kind of useless. Once I'm out, and my cook is ruined and whatever, but I got an alert when I was cooking short ribs on this bad boy, about an hour out, like you're running low on pellets, you need to fill your pellets. That is a cool pellet sensor. And while we're on the subject of the hopper, it has a large 20-pound capacity hopper, and it also comes with a quick change trap door in the back of the unit that allows you to quickly change out flavored pellets or whatever it is you might want to do. You're able to just drop them, add new ones, move on. To wrap everything that we've said so far up into one little package, it all can be controlled through their included WiFIRE app that Traeger has for their grills. It's really cool. You have access to thousands of recipes, standard cook modes. You can control, you can control your temperatures. You get alerts. Hey, you're running low on pellets, comes to your phone. You can change your temperature from your phone. So if you have a 2-stage cook and you ran to go get something, but you have your phone on you, no problem. It's got you covered. Some of the other cool features that are definitely worth mentioning is starting with the actual main cooking grid. So it comes with two different grids. There's an alternate secondary grid up top, and then there's the main cooking grid. The main cooking grid can be set in two different positions, one up higher for when you're roasting or smoking, burgers, whatever you might want to do, some veggies. But there's also, you can drop it down a few inches for when you're doing something such as a reverse-seared steaks that came out incredible maybe? I don't know. They also include a 304 stainless steel side shelf with included little tool hooks on the side there. You can hang your tools, set your pans, prep area, good to go. Also, at the rear of the grill, there are 2 brackets that hold your secondary top cooking grid when not in use. And at the very bottom, there are 2 all-terrain wheels. Now, I will tell you that I didn't think that was a big deal, but on our past shoot with this grill, we had to move it 100, 200 yards over sort of a muddy, grassy area and a rocky area, and we had no problems, and I was thankful to have our all-terrain wheels. Now we'll have a look at quality. Now in the quality department, we usually start out with the materials. So the exterior lid of the Traeger Ironwood measured in at 13 gauge powder coated steel. Inside of the grill, we'll start at the very bottom of the cooking chamber. The flame diffuser that sits right over the fire pot, measured in at 20 gauge cold rolled steel. The heat deflecting as well as grease management drip tray, measured in at 18 gauge cold rolled steel. The cooking grids, the main and secondary, are both porcelainized coated steel. Respectively, they are 5mm solid steel rods and 4mm solid steel rods. The double lining of the interior of the grill weighed in at 24 gauge cold rolled steel. So at this point, we know that the grill is built well and it comes with tons of features. Let's talk about how it performs. So one of the main things to look at is how evenly the grill maintains itself, as well as how close to your set temperature does it maintain. And this is where Ironwood really steps up and shows itself as a good pellet grill. At any point of my low temperature and high temperature test, the average temperature in the grill was never off more than about 12 degrees from my set temperature. Now keep this in mind with pellet grills, that it doesn't work as simple as I took the temperature in one spot on the grid and it read XYZ, and so this grill is off or on. These are more like ovens and they're calibrated that way. So what you do is you have a large batch of thermocouples and different spots of the grill, and that gets averaged together for an oven type temperature or an ambient temperature, and so that's how that works. So never think, from one little spot being a different temperature than what I just told you, that you have a problem. That's just not really how these, it's an indirect fired grill sort of as far as the cooking goes, and so it works more like an oven for the actual temperature correctness. Next up is, performance-wise, is how fast can I start cooking, right? Now we already covered this, but I will re-mention it for performance because it matters. Again, at lower temperatures, I was preheated and ready to go in 8 to 9 minutes. And at the higher temperature ranges for the cookouts I did, we hit those temps in 12 to 15 minutes. So definitely awesome. To reiterate and show the evenness of the test, when you see the burger test that I took, they look like clones. You're not gonna get a whole lot more even than that. And as I said, that's a good thing. Moving on to the lower temperature settings, short ribs, no problem. I was able to access the recipe through the app, set it up to the grill. The grill performed great. Again, it was awesome. And finally, I tested the 2 different tiers of cooking grid performance-wise with higher temperatures with reverse-seared steak. Now, I will say that when it comes to pellet grills, all pellet grills, they're just more, they're better built out and designed for your lower temperature, more even, smoking, roasting, those types of things. That's what they intentionally were built for originally. They have come a long way and they do a lot of things, but as you can see with reverse-seared steak, that's about as good of a steak as you're gonna get on any grill. And so, again, performance-wise, high temperatures, excellent. Now for a quick recap. As far as features go, with the Traeger Ironwood, they've got you covered. All I really need to say is D2, direct drivetrain system. All the things that are encompassed in that, really awesome. Moving on to quality, Traeger grills are practically the industry standard for pellet grills. Then as far as performance goes, not only did I have any hiccups, I had plenty of even heat, everything worked out well, and if you watch the reverse-sear steak, you know that we've got that going for us too, so performance-wise, they've also got you covered. That wraps it up for our Traeger Ironwood overview. I hope that you found this very informative, and I hope that you'll check back often to see some of our other videos. Thank you for watching.